Hello Into Tomorrow fans, and welcome to this week's ITTV update. I'm Dave Graveline. We've run across a new secret weapon in the human interface device category known as a computer mouse. Stay tuned as Rob will spotlight it coming up. In the meantime, let's travel back with This Week in Tech History. Here's Chris.
Thanks. This week in 1829, the first typewriter was patented by William Burt of Mount Vernon, Michigan. And in 1962, the Telstar communications satellite that was launched a few weeks earlier sent the first live TV broadcast to Europe. The bird was used to send TV programs between the United States and Europe. In 1925, this week, station 2XAG in Schenectady, New York became the first radio station in the U.S. to broadcast with a 50,000-watt transmitter. The station, soon known as WGY Radio, could broadcast with 50,000 watts since it was owned by the General Electric Company, a company that knew a thing or two about watts. Today, WGY still broadcasts with its original call letters and is still using 50,000 watts of power. That's our look back at This Week in Tech History.
This Week in Tech History is brought to you by TigerDirect.com. So for all your electronics needs, simply go to TigerDirect.com.
Logitech's MX Air aims to be a high-tech solution to using a mouse without a desktop, like with a media center or for a business presentation. Into Tomorrow's Rob Almanza shows us how it functions in midair.
Thanks, Dave. I'm very excited about this new mouse. I have it for a few minutes because everyone here has been fighting over it. And I've invited our friend Mike DeWan. He's our mouse expert, or so he says. How you doing, Mike?
Good to be here.
Welcome to this week's Product Spotlight. So tell us, what exactly is the MX Air mouse?
It's a mouse that goes into tomorrow. It's freed from just being used on flat surfaces.
Cool, so just like the name implies, you can use it in the air.
Exactly.
And what makes it possible? What is the technology behind this?
It uses MEMS sensors.
MEMS? What are you talking about?
It stands for micro-electromechanical systems, and they detect when the mouse is moved in midair. The MX has Logitech's laser sensor, so it can be used on a flat surface when that extra precision is needed.
Right, and I noticed, was surprised actually, to see that you can still scroll with this. There's no regular scroll wheel like you see in other mice, but you can still do it, and the funny thing is that it does a funny scroll sound, right?
Right. It behaves exactly like the scroll wheel, the flywheel scroll wheel on Logitech's Revolution mice.
Cool. And who do you think can use this mouse? Was it hard to adapt to?
Anyone can use it. It's primarily designed to be used in a media center environment. It only takes a minute or two to get used to using it in midair, and it works best when held like a TV remote.
Right. Let's show our viewers a quick demo.
Just hold it like that, and you got easy thumb control for the buttons there. And when you're here on your media center, you can fairly easily get to where you want to be. Hit the play button. Oh, there goes pictures.
There you go. And let's show a little of the buttons here. If you can zoom in here, our cameraman. We've got the left and right click, the scroll. You have the back and play button because it's meant for a media center PC. You've got your play and pause button if you're doing a photo slideshow, playing music. If you can zoom in over here, I'll play a little something for you guys. And there you see the mouse in action. Cool, and how much does this mouse cost, Mike?
It's $150, and I'm sure it'll be discounted soon.
Right, this was recently released, so...
Right, just last week.
Cool, thank you for joining us this week, Mike. There you have it, guys. This is the Logitech MX Air mouse. Come by the website at graveline.com to learn more about it. Just click on the first look post on our homepage. So until next week, take it away, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Now you can go ahead and put it back at my desk. Do you receive our free weekly tech newsletter? What? Well, you can, and it's easy. Sign up at graveline.com. Trust me on this one, you want to get our weekly tech newsletter. Now, with light speed, Andrea Briceno has this week's tech term.
Thanks, Dave. The tech term for this week is fiber optic cable. Fiber optic cables are strands of optically pure glass, as thin as human hair. Because the fiber optic cable is light-based, data can be sent through it at the speed of light. Using a laser transmitter to encode data, pulses of light are sent through the cable. On the receiving end of the transmission, the light signals are translated back into data, which can be read by a computer. Much of our consumer electronic components today have optical ports for connecting audio. There, you would use short fiber optic patch cords or fiber optic pigtails. Besides being used in communications, fiber optics are used in medicine and research. Because fiber optics are based entirely on beams of light, they are less susceptible to noise and interference rather than the traditional copper wires. However, the fibers are fragile, but each one is isolated and heavily protected. The bigger cables are usually placed underground and underwater, which makes them difficult and expensive to install. There are millions of fiber miles in the United States, and about 500,000 miles of fiber optic cables now run beneath the world's oceans. That's this week's tech term, fiber optic cable. And at the speed of light, back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Andrea. Keep shining for us like the star you are. Do you have a tech term that you'd like to know more about? Drop her a note to Andrea@graveline.com, and she just might shed some light on your tech term. Do you have a webcam? Terrific. I'd like to hear from you on video. Leave me a video question or comment with iJot on the right-hand side of our main page at graveline.com. Now be sure to take a peek at our hints and tips before submitting so we can see and hear you the best. We'll watch for you next week. Meantime, thanks for tuning into tomorrow.